Gross. Ew. Oh, there's still some lasagna down here. I could really use a hand. Hello, creepers, and welcome back to Keeping It Creepy. I'm Keha. Yeah, we're just gonna start this video off with a little bit of a story time about my week because it's been a week. If you just came here for the makeup, go ahead and jump right ahead, but I feel like sometimes people want to get to know the people that they're learning from, so I figured I would tell you how my week is gone. I got a job at a business consulting firm as an account executive slash manager in training. So basically, it was like a really cool, it was like a big opportunity. It was definitely like an adult big girl job. Yeah, I got the job, but I was really torn as to whether or not I should take it because the hours were awful. It was like from 11 to 7:30, and so like that's essentially your whole day, and it was like 45 minutes away. My computer's being really loud. But it was business professional, so I had to wear suit jackets and heels. Like, it was pretty fancy. Hashtag adulting. But like the pay was great, so I was really torn. So I was like praying, like, should I take this job? What should I do? Is this what I'm meant to do? But I had like this gut feeling that I shouldn't do it, but I'm like, okay, the adult thing to do is to take this job. I took it. I went to orientation and I sat through it and I was like, ugh, this doesn't really sound like it's the right fit for me, but I'll do it because that's what I should do right now. I really need the money. I never got a sign that I shouldn't take it, just this gut feeling that I shouldn't take it. So I'm driving home from orientation and I'm like, whatever, it'll do. And then, bam! I got the sign that I was asking for because I totaled my car. Yeah, 2 days ago. Now carless and jobless with a net worth of 24 cents, and we still owe $4,000 for the car, so after that I don't even know that we'll have any money for me to use the insurance money to get a car. So that kind of sucks, but I mean, I did ask for a sign that I shouldn't take that job, and that sign hit me like a Mack truck or a Ford Focus. I was just trying to do the right thing, but yeah, so now I don't have a car to drive that far away, and so I no longer have that job. I wasn't meant to be, I guess. Yeah, that's how my week has been going. Something better shall come along. Maybe more than 50 people will watch this video. But for today's tutorial, I just wanted to do a fun little get your hands stuck in the garbage disposal, because I feel like that's always one of those stigmas. And it's really funny because I only had to stick my hand in the garbage disposal like 50 times in order to do this tutorial, and nothing happened. Except for like some gnarly makeup. Without further ado, you know what time it is. It's time to get our creep on. Let's go. So to begin, we're going to tape down 2 of our fingers so that our hands can look like our fingers were furled in the blades of the garbage disposal. Furled is probably not the right word. After that, we're going to take some latex mixed with flour till it kind of starts to clump up. That's when it's about the right thickness that we want. And we're just going to use that to build up our prosthetic. So yeah, essentially we are just covering up our little finger nubbins and smoothing that down to where it looks like it could be our palm. And it's going to be a little bit raised because you have to hide your fingers that are bent underneath of it. But the way I look at it is, if you did stick your hand down a garbage disposal, some of that skin's going to like wrinkle up and puff up. So that kind of explains why it would be that way. Eventually I do want to do this look with silicone so that it would be a little bit more realistic, but for now, since I'm poor, latex will have to do. Yeah, so now we're just building up that wound, building up our woundages, and now we're taking some of just regular latex and using that to really smooth it out because we don't want the latex to be too clumpy. And honestly, the hardest part about this tutorial is working with one hand and trying not to get latex everywhere because it just sticks to everything and it's hard to get off when you only have one hand. So yeah, we're just kind of shaping out what we want it to look like. Now we're just taking a butter knife and putting in some cuts into our prosthetic so that it looks like our hand really got caught into those blades. And now we're just mixing up some more latex and flour, but a little bit thinner this time, and bringing that up our fingers so that they can also be cut up, because it would be super weird if you had these two perfect fingers while the rest of your hand was just gnarly. So yeah, we're just taking that latex on there and then smoothing it out really good. So yeah, we're just kind of shaping out what we want it to look like, building up to hide those finger nubbins, and then we're going to take the top of our knuckle on our first finger, and that's going to have like a little bone. And then on top of our pinky, I sculpted a little pinky bone like it's the first bone after the knuckle. And try not to let your fingers go together because the latex will stick to itself, and that would be a problem. And now we're just taking our knife and putting some cut lines into our fingertips and the back of our hand. And you get the general idea. And now we're just adding some to our thumb as well, because the whole thing, our whole hand is in the disposal. It's gonna get pretty jacked up. Now we're just blending that latex down the hand so that it blends in smoothly with our skin. And adding some cuts to our thumb. Pretty straightforward. And once this dries, and you can use the assistance of a hairdryer, you want to powder it thoroughly because the latex will stick to itself and you don't want that to happen. So now we're taking some of our Skin Illustrator mixed with some alcohol. That's how it's activated. That's what's in my fancy dancy little solo cup here, and we're going to paint our whole hand red. The red will really neutralize the whiteness of the latex and give it a warm undertone, so then when we put on our foundation tone, it'll match our skin better. Usually I would use Skin Illustrator as the foundation tone as well, but I'm actually out of the Skin Illustrator in that shade. So I'm just using my NYX foundation that I usually use on my face, and just spreading that all over and blending it out. And then I tried to keep my fingernails clear as well so that it still looked like my normal hand. And this is what the wound looks like before we start to color in the cuts once all the skin tone is applied. So now we're going to take a variation of different red tones and color in those cuts. So we're starting off with a lighter red, and then we'll go to a darker red, and then we'll go in and add some depth with some darker purple and just a little bit of black. But I accidentally did a very bad thing. I accidentally deleted the footage of me adding the purple and the blacks and the blood because I suck at life. But I did take some step-by-step process pictures, so the finishing out of this tutorial will be done by that. I'm so sorry. Please don't stop watching. So yeah, so now we're just adding in the darker red after that beginning red, and just coloring in those cuts. And then you also want to take white and color in the little bone nubbin on the top of our first finger and the pinky little bone nubbin. And there's the finished coloring in of the red and the darker red, and then this is after I added the purples and the blacks and a little bit of blood. And then this is what it's like with the blood lightly, and this is the finished look. But now your hand has officially been sliced open by the churning blades of the garbage disposal. Don't actually stick your hand down a garbage disposal because that would be horrendous. So hopefully you learned a thing or two about how to gnarlify your hand. But that's all I have for you today. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave any comments or suggestions for makeups you might want to see below. And remember to keep it creepy. Stop it. You ruined my footage. There really is lasagna noodles down here. Now I really can't find the ring because it really fell in the hole. Where's my flashlight? Got it. Along with last night's dinner. I'm not doing that. My fingers are super numb. Radical did. But we're trying something new. What else is there to do as I sit alone while I'm at home and talk to myself? I need some help.